Alright, so here's my Talaria StingR. So this is the new Talaria. So I need to adjust the chain line, the distance between this side from the center here to the swing arm pivot point. From the two sides are different. The drive side is 2 millimeters shorter in distance than the non-drive side. So I need to loosen up the axle so that way I could adjust the other side. So I already know that it's 2 millimeters shorter on that side, and I double checked with measuring the adjusted screw bolt right here. That was also 2 millimeters shorter on that side as well. So I'm gonna use my calipers and get it to be the same. So this side is 19 and a half millimeters, 19.5, and the other side is 17 and a half. So I'm gonna adjust that. So this is a 6 millimeter Allen, and the other side is a 17 millimeter. This other side is a 17 millimeter. 17 millimeter socket. So hex. So turn this thing, loosen this thing up. When you have, actually, let's, before I get further, when you have something like a bolt that goes through, this axle bolt right here, it's solid on this side, right? This is the head, so it goes through all the way through, and the threads on this side. So when you have anything that's like that, and you're loosening it, do not try to loosen it from the head side. Always use that head side as the holding point, and loosen up the nut side, the side where the thread is. The reason for that is because if you try to loosen up the head side, you're putting more strain on that head, and that head is it's a 6 millimeter Allen. It's not very strong, compared to a 17 millimeter. This right here would take a lot more torque before rounding out than this will, right? So that's one reason. The other reason is because the thread and everything is torqued down right here. The holding is right here. So if you try to screw it on the other side, what happens is that you're not just fighting the tightness of this bolt or this nut right here where the thread is, you're also fighting everything that's on that bolt itself, the axle bolt. All the bearings, the hub, all that stuff, it's all there's a little bit of friction and pressure on it. Not a whole lot, because it's just sitting here. So it's not a whole lot, but there is a little bit. All those little bit adds up, and it makes it that when you try to loosen it up from this other side, if you were to measure the actual torque to the amount of torque that's required to loosen it up, and let's say you just hold the side still, and this is the side that's spinning. If you actually measure that amount of torque compared to, say, holding this side and spinning this side and measuring the torque on this side will require less torque. And because it's all those little friction points and a little bit of extra pressure, even though it's very small, it makes that difference. And that could be the difference between rounding out the head with this versus not with that, right? If that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. So anyways, let's go back to working this. So I don't need to take this off. I just need to loosen it up so that way I make this adjustment right here. So this looks like 8 millimeters. So actually I know the other side is 19 and a half. So actually let's measure this side real fast. What is that, right? 19 and a half. Wait a minute. Why does that measure longer? Yeah, so this side is 19 and a half. Actually, it just changed because I loosened up the bolt. It's increased to 19.6. This side is, why is this side more? Oh, 21.3. So it's a little bit longer. Was I mistaken? Well, definitely right. But actually, the real measurement is when everything's tightened up, not when it's loose. So let's look at this measurement. Yes, so this measurement is still correct. 488 millimeters. This side is 490. Yeah, so I was right. So this distance from here to here is still longer. So the adjustment here, you can't depend on it too much. It's more precise if you measure this distance than if you measure here, or even the markers, little marks here, because that's what most people use. And if you use that, and I think that's what they use from the factory. Because let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4. From the back, 4 up, just past the fourth mark. This other side is 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, just past the 4th mark. Yeah, so that's what they use. They basically use these markers. That's not usually work. That doesn't usually work very well. So I think those this one 8. Let's see. This is a 9 millimeter. Oh, this is a 10. These are 10 millimeters, not 8. So 10 millimeters here. So let's see, a 10. That's also a 10. So I have a open wrench, and I have a flange nut wrench to do this. Let's see. Oops, that's a 12. That's a 10. Actually, use both flange nut wrench, because I have 2 different sets. See, this one even fits. Sometimes the flange nut doesn't fit because the head is bigger, because of the size of that head. Yeah, this nut doesn't fit on it, but this one does, just enough to clear it. So let's see. I want to make this thing 2 millimeters longer. So this right now is 21.35, 21.38. Let's see. Oh, 20, what the heck? Oh, wait a minute. 21.4, 22, 23, 23.4. So another way I could do it is looking at if you don't have the gauge to measure it, is thinking about the pitch on the thread here. So this thread pitch looks like it's a 1 millimeter thread pitch. It could be a little bit more. Let's see. Look at this. This looks like a 1. Yeah, it is. It's a 1 millimeter thread pitch. So it's a 1 millimeter thread pitch. So basically, you just have to spin that nut 2 times around. It should be good. See, the problem is where I should get a marker and mark where I started and where I end. Let me get a black marker real quick. Let's see, where's my black marker? Black marker. Just mark one spot. Just mark it right here. So one side. So I know where I started and where I will end. So that's where that side is right there. Still needs to be loosened up a little bit more, I think. Feels like it. It shouldn't be tight. It shouldn't be tight at all. Yeah, there it goes. You see it wiggling. Let's go back to this. Jeez. Oh, you know what? I marked the wrong one. I marked the wrong head. I'm supposed to mark this head, not that head. I'm supposed to mark this head right here. This is the head that spins. That head is the locking head. I was like, what the heck? Why the heck is it so tight? Oops, marked the wrong one. All right. So this one I actually loosen up partly, and here I just turn it out, right? Turn it out. So that's one turn. It's 2 turns, 2 millimeters, and that should be good. Let me lock this back up now. Okay, so let's double check with the measuring. It was 21.4 right earlier, so now it's 23 point. Let's see, 23 point. Oops. Okay, 23.5. So slightly more. We won't know until for sure until you actually button everything up. But before you do that, you don't want to just button it up right now, because right now it's still kind of, you know, the wheel's kind of loose, and this right here is not flush in. So what you want to do is you want to push the wheel forward, you know, from basically from here. That way both sides will be pushed forward equally. And if it's kind of kind of hung up, I just use a mallet. This is a dead blow mallet, and I just hit it from the back. This will break up any tight spots on it. Right, breaks up any whatever tight spots. And from there, right, like so. Except whatever tight spot, and I could tighten this up. So when I tighten this up, I do a few things to help keep the wheel pushed forward. I basically, while I'm tightening it up, I will stick my knee to the back of the wheel here, where I was hitting it with the mallet, and I will just kind of, and with the two wrench on this side, I will actually kind of pull this on this while I'm tightening it up. Oops. Okay, that's good enough. Any more than that, you put stress on the on this side, and it's gonna strip the that 60 millimeter Allen head. So I'm gonna call that good. And let's double check the measurement. So the other side I didn't touch, so it should still be 490. Let's see. So yeah, still 490. 490 millimeters, 490. This side should be also 490 now. Yep. See that? It's 490. So it's perfect. Both sides are even now. So now we're good. And that's basically how you adjust the, you know, not just adjust the tension, but that both sides is, it's even. Oh, look at this now. Oh, this is tight. So that's not good. So let's see. Push this through. Let's see. Yeah, that's too tight. Tighter than I would like. That's too tight right there. Okay. So I'm gonna loosen it up. And I'm actually gonna, because that was a 2 millimeter adjustment, I'm gonna go back to 1 millimeter. I'm gonna go reduce 1 millimeter on this side and the other side, so that way they're both even. You know, the point is not just to get proper chain tension, but also get the proper distance on both sides. So, all right. Oops. So what did we change? We changed so I need to tighten this up by one turn basically. Some people say, oh, why don't you measure the chain tension before you tighten it up? You can't, because when you tighten it up, it changes. When it's loose versus when it's tightened up, it's different. Usually when you tighten it up, it actually gets tighter most of the time, at least in my experience. With all the motorcycles that I've had, that's always, for the most part, it's always been the case. Even with my Zero, the belt drive, when I tighten up the axle, it will actually when I tighten up the axle, it will actually, okay, that's more like it. It will actually make the belt tighter. So this side, I need to loosen this side up by one turn, right? Let's see, let me mark my marker on this side as well, so I know where I'm at, so that way it always stays the same. It stays even basically. So let's see, I want to make this thing shorter. Turn it in one turn. Okay, so that side got closer by one turn, this side got, adjusted one turn as well. So it should be good now. Again, I pushed my from my wheel, I put my knee with this, so I push it that way. And these two, I will pull on these two. That's good. Okay, that should be good now. Let me measure it now. Let's see. Always double check your work. So yep, it's 489. 89. This side should be the same. 489 as well. Let's see. There. Yep, 489. All right, so that's it. So that's how you not just check the chain tension. So now it's wiggles enough, and this is less than before I started, right? So now let's see the top here, the bottom. Yeah, so now it's only about 1 inch. So that's good. I think they might have said something on here, and I think they said something like maybe it only needs like ½ inch. Well, this should be enough. That should be more than enough. That should be good. Anyways, that's how you check, not just adjust the chain tension, but also adjust it from side to side to make sure that the distance from the axle center to the pivot center are the same length. That's important, because if it's not, the wheel won't be true. The wheel will be like angle to one way, one direction or the other direction, and it won't completely track true. If that makes any sense. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching.